Nebuchadnezzar the king had a gold statue made, 90 feet high and 9 feet wide, which he set up on the plain of Dura, in the province of Babel. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king summoned all the provincial officials to assemble and come to the dedication of the statue. And a herald proclaimed,
"People of all races and nations and languages, listen to the king's command. When you hear the sound of the horn, flute, zither, lyre, harp, pipes, and other musical instruments, bow to the ground to worship King Nebuchadnezzar's gold statue. Anyone who refuses to obey will immediately be thrown into a blazing furnace."
Therefore, when all the peoples heard the sound of the horn, pipe, harp, zither, lute, and the rest of the musical instruments, all the peoples, nations, and languages fell down and worshipped the gold statue. But then some Kasdim approached and began denouncing the Jews. They said to Nebuchadnezzar the king,
"Long live the king! You issued a decree requiring all the people to bow down and worship the gold statue when they hear the sound of the horn, flute, zither, lyre, harp, pipes, and other musical instruments. That decree also states that those who refuse to obey must be thrown into a blazing furnace. But there are some Jews, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, whom you have put in charge of the province of Babylon. They pay no attention to you, your majesty. They refuse to serve your gods and do not worship the gold statue you have set up."
In a raging fury, Nebuchadnezzar ordered that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego be brought. When the men had been brought before the king, Nebuchadnezzar said to them,
"Is it true, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you refused to serve my gods or to worship the gold statue I have set up? I will give you one more chance to bow down and worship the statue I have made when you hear the sound of the musical instruments. But if you refuse, you will be thrown immediately into the blazing furnace, and then what god will be able to rescue you from my power?"
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered the king,
"O Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves before you.
If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God whom we serve is able to save us. He will rescue us from your power, your majesty."
"But even if he doesn't, we want to make it clear to you, your majesty, that we will never serve your gods or worship the gold statue you have set up."
Nebuchadnezzar became so utterly enraged that his face was distorted with anger against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He ordered the furnace made 7 times hotter than usual. Then he ordered some of the strongest men in his army to tie up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and throw them into the blazing hot furnace.
Didn't we tie up 3 men and throw them into the furnace?
Yes, your majesty, we certainly did."
Look, I see 4 men, unbound, walking around in the fire unharmed, and the 4th looks like a god.
Nebuchadnezzar approached the opening of the blazing hot furnace and said,
"Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, servants of the Most High God, come out, come here."
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego emerged from the flames. The viceroys, prefects, governors, and royal advisers who were there saw that the fire had no power on the bodies of these men. Not even their hair was singed. Their clothes looked the same, and they didn't smell of fire. Nebuchadnezzar said,
"Praise to the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He sent his angel to rescue his servants who trusted in him. They defied the king's command and were willing to die rather than serve or worship any god except their own God. Therefore, I make this decree. If any people, whatever their race or nation or language, speak a word against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, their houses will be turned into heaps of rubble. There is no other God who can rescue like this.